Yo, what's good? What's good? We back. We back. I'm just coming home from work. Gotta get this episode done. Listen, last night, right? I come home from work, right? I come home and I got rum cake that just got delivered to my house, right? I just got rum cake delivered to my house. Shout out to all the Caribbeans out there. You know what I'm talking about. If you ever had rum cake before, it's black cake that has rum in it. Pretty simple, but obviously there's other things that make it what it is. But I'm a lightweight, so I don't drink much. So I had this rum cake, right? I had this rum cake. As soon as I put my tongue in it, as soon as I put my tongue in it, burn it. My tongue got burnt by the alcohol. I'm like, damn, like, is this cake or is this just alcohol? Like, where's the sweetness at? You know what I mean? Like, where's the sweetness at? So I kept eating the cake because I'm like, ain't no way this cake just tastes like pure burning. What's that shit called? What's the alcohol you get with the red letters that you can get out the Walmart? Isopropyl alcohol. This tastes like pure alcohol. I had it and then I kept eating it and I was like, damn, like the burn is starting to go away. The burn is starting to go away. The burn is starting to go away. But at first it sounded like this bonfire. At first it sounded like that. So I'm like, all right, this is tasting real good now. Right? It's tasting real good now. My eyes get low. I'm like, damn, I'm actually kind of lit off this. Shit. Hop on the game. Woke up, went to work, had a big ass headache. My headache huge. But that's my story. That's a little short story on rum cake. You all should try rum cake. Get you a slice of rum cake. Find you a Jamaican. Find you an Antiguan. Find you somebody. Find you somebody with. Find you somebody that could walk outside barefooted comfortably. That's mad racist. Alright, there's a couple things we gotta talk about, okay? This is another episode of Think Pieces and Conversations. I said I was gonna start up another episode, season 2 of Think Pieces and Conversations, but I was like, why do I need seasons? Okay, maybe in 2025 we're just gonna call it Think Pieces and Conversations 2025, just like 2K 16, 17, 2024. We might do it like that. I don't know, but we just gonna keep it going. Today we got for you a lot of news, man. That's a lot of things that are kind of breaking, okay? The first thing I want to talk about is that they want to roll out the bird flu vaccine, okay? There is some people that went on a news site and they talked about rolling out the bird flu vaccine before the Trump term. Let's see what she says. I don't know what she says, okay? We've been here before though. So we understand what to do, what not to do, what to watch out for, what to look out for. But without further ado,
days that they have left. The first is to get testing out there. I feel like we should have learned our lesson from COVID that just because we aren't testing, it doesn't mean that the virus.
she said we should have learned our lesson from COVID. Hey, I'm here to tell you, we did. We did. I'll leave it at that. We on YouTube. We learned our lesson.
Isn't there. It just means that we aren't looking for it. We should be having rapid tests, home tests available to all farm workers, to their families, for the clinicians taking care of them, so that we aren't waiting for public labs and CDC labs to tell us what's bird flu or not. And the second very important thing is, this is not like the beginning of COVID where we were dealing with a new virus, we didn't have a vaccine. There actually is a vaccine developed already against H5N1. The Biden administration has contracted with manufacturers to make almost 5 million doses of the vaccine.
Let me ask you a question, right? Maybe there is a scientist that's watching this, that when they're in the back room, naming all these diseases that y'all find out about, who names them? Who comes up with the names? Who says, nah, we not gonna call it that. It don't have a ring to it. We gotta call it something else. We gotta call it something, and we gotta make sure we give them clues that we found it. And, when it goes on the headlines, it has a ring. People could say it. It rolls off the tongue. It rolls off the tongue. All right. I think she called it H1B1 or something like that. I don't know what she said, but obviously if it rolls out in the news, if the marketing works for this, if it rolls out in the news, right, then I'll get the name right. But I just had that simple question. If whoever works for the CDC, let me know how y'all figure out these names. That last one, they put the 19 at the end of it because it actually came out in 2019. All right, let's start this. Let's keep it going.
Vaccine. However, they have not asked the FDA to authorize the vaccine. There's research done on it. They could get this authorized now and also get the vaccine out and to farm workers and to vulnerable people. I think that's the right approach, because we don't know what the Trump administration is going to be doing around bird flu. If they have people coming in with anti-vaccine stances, could they hold up vaccine authorization? If they don't want to know how much bird flu is out there, could they withhold testing? That's a possibility. And I think the Biden administration in the remaining days should get testing and vaccines widely available.
Miss Lady, I don't know your name, okay? I don't know your name. You seem like a nice person. You're doing what Dr. Fauci did, okay? But you're being a little bit more aggressive. And I don't like when y'all are aggressive with putting shots in our bodies, all right? Just last week, there was drones flying everywhere, right? Drones was flying everywhere. People were saying they looking for this, they looking for that. It was UFOs, it was UAPs, right? The news disappeared. Where did it go? Where did it go? So now you get on and you distract us again. Because obviously the CDC marketing team, the CDC said that you had to go out there and warn people about this stuff, right? You got to tell them, yo, you need to pull this out, right? 2 weeks ago, I got sick. Seemed like the regular flu. While I was sick with the flu, I look on the news. They like, yo, flu cases have been up. And I'm like, damn. So the flu is back. The flu is back to make another album. The flu is back to make another album. Wow, I haven't seen the flu in so long. It was almost like it disappeared a couple years ago. Maybe I'm bugging. So, now you got this lady in the red. She telling us about this. All right. I know they see the writing on the wall. They understand where most of normal people, such as myself, millionaires, billionaires, celebrities that aren't paid for and bought for, they're watching podcasts. They're watching Guys like me, guys like whoever, Anton, whoever, Joe Rogan, they're watching guys who want to know the truth, telling the truth, being objective, have common sense, and want to spread the word of common sense. You guys are gonna have to do a better job at marketing this thing that you want to market, such as the bird flu. I'm here to tell you, it's not working. It's not working.
So that at least it empowers state and local health officials and clinicians to do the right thing for their patients.
Dr. Wen, is bird flu in humans super dangerous?
Well, the World Health Organization estimates that in prior outbreaks of the bird flu, that the mortality rate is 52%. 52%. However, in this most recent outbreak, it seems that most cases have been mild, and maybe some people even have asymptomatic infection. But the question is, we don't know what happens when bird flu affects more vulnerable individuals. People infected so far in the US have been mainly farm workers who are
I think I just caught deja vu. Did I just catch deja vu? Did I just catch deja vu? She said something about the current conditions of the patients or whatever, like prior conditions and prior existing factors. That sounds exactly like the last one, right? Now the mortality rate is 52%. So if 2 people get it, or 4 people, or let me put it an odd number, some type of odd number that's very low, right? Say if half of them die, say if like 7 people, right? Total is 7, and 4 of them die. That's just over 50%, right? So they could look. This is how the news works. They're not gonna be like, yo, 7 people that was very old or sick, or they don't exercise, they don't eat well, all they do is eat McDonald's all day. They was the people that caught this disease, this flu, and half of them died. They're not gonna tell you the number. If they tell you the number and it's a high number, they can't wait to see it tell. They can't wait to say it's a high number. They can't wait to be like, yo, 100,000 got out of here. If it's too low, they're gonna be like, we're just gonna use the percentage number. The percentage is better for the narrative. Okay, so we're gonna say 52%, even though we only found just under a dozen people that had it. So say 52%. All right, Janet, you better say 52%. All right? I'm gonna fire you out of the CDC. All right? We're trying to inject these people. All right? You better say 52%. You better not say the total number of people.
working, presumably generally healthy, as opposed to what happens when you get to children, to pregnant women, to older individuals with chronic illnesses. We don't know how deadly, how dangerous bird flu is going to be for those individuals. And again, that's one more reason why we don't want it to spread and acquire more mutations.
All right, so I pretty much gave my analysis on that. So, y'all do what you will with that information. This is all for entertainment purposes only, okay? This is all for entertainment purposes only, man. So listen, there was something tragic that happened the other day, all right? Something very tragic. There was a plane crash on landing in South Korea. Over 100 people died. We're gonna give it to the news people. And supposedly there are 2 other crashes that happened on the same day as this plane, right? On the same day that this news broke out, 2 other planes crashed. I don't know the casualties of the other ones, but this one has gotten a lot of traction that I've heard. We're gonna hear these people out. We're gonna hear the news out. This is from news.com.au. We're gonna see what they say.
비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 끝까지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 다시 한번 전해드리겠습니다. 오늘 오전 들어온 제보에 따르면 비행기는 착륙 중에 랜딩 기어가 내려오지 않았고 착륙한 뒤 활주로를 이탈해 중앙 담장 끝까지가 폭발했다고 합니다. 다시 한번 전해드리겠습니다. 오늘 오전 9시 10분쯤 전남 무안공항에서
Whoa. Hold on. I gotta find the English. Bro. Is this it? Yeah, we gotta get the English. Okay, cool.
179 people are dead after a plane crashed while attempting to land at an airport in South Korea. This is one of the country's worst aviation disasters. To talk more about it, we're joined by BBC correspondent in Seoul, Rachel Lee. Thanks for being here, Rachel. What's the latest in this situation?
Right. So this tragedy centers on Jeju Air Flight 7C2216, a Boeing 737-800 that had just arrived from Bangkok to Muan. So that's a county about 290 kilometers south of capital Seoul. And it was carrying 181 people, and of these, only 2 survived, both crew members, while 179 passengers.
Yo, that is insane. Yo, that plane completely just disintegrated, bro. Yo. And 2 people survived that? They said 2 crew members survived. That's crazy.
Including 85 women, 84 men, and 10 whose identities are still unclear, lost their lives. The victims were predominantly South Korean, with 2 Thai nationals on board. The scene at Muan International Airport is quite devastating. So families of the victims have gathered in the terminal where grief is palpable, and many are crying uncontrollably as names of their loved ones are being identified. Now the airport has set up all these yellow tents for families to have some privacy, and relief workers are providing water, blankets, and instant noodles for them. And the heartbreak in this airport is just overwhelming.
Yeah, maybe you can give us an idea of what the scene is like and how people are reacting in Muan.
Okay, so the big question here is, right? How did the landing fail? Why it failed? What was the cause? Was it a mechanical issue? Was it a pilot issue? Was it personnel? Like, these things don't happen every day. Listen, there is several thousands of car accidents every day on the road. This is a fact. Do you know how often planes crash per year? Hold on, let me look up that number. How often do planes crash per year? Okay, so on average, theHiveLaw.com. Hold on, is that a credible site? Let's look at this site. Okay, so executiveflyers.com says, according to an FAA study, there are approximately 5 plane crashes a day. If we look at the numbers, there are 0.028 commercial plane crashes a day, right? A commercial plane is American Airlines, Delta, United, all that, right? JetBlue. So it's under 0.1% that crashes a day. But in total, planes in total, that's not including, that's including commercials and other planes, it's 5 a day. So if you just look at commercial, the ones that you could go to the airport for, those are way under one plane a day, right? Supposedly 3 planes crashed the day that this news came out, which is today, as of 4 hours ago, on Global News, the YouTube channel, right? There was a time where I was kind of scared to death of plane crashes because of Final Destination, the movie Final Destination, right? And then as you get older, you take more trips, you smash more girls in other countries. I mean, you go to other countries and you party and you drink and you meet people, stuff like that. You stop being scared of flying, right? You like, ain't no plane crashes happen. Like, plane crashes never happen. Like, the last some crazy plane crash that happened before 2024 was the Malaysian Airlines flight that I know of, that I could think about. So and that wasn't even a plane crash, that was a disappearance. So yeah. Yeah, man. Let's check out the rest of the story, man.
In general, that's about 300 kilometers away from where you are right now in Seoul.
That's right. The investigation is just the beginning, but officials have retrieved the flight's black box and cockpit voice recorders, which will be key in determining what went wrong. Now, early indications suggest a catastrophic failure of the landing gear and a potential bird strike, which the control tower had warned about just before landing. The pilot attempted to adjust and land elsewhere, but overshot the runway, skidding into a concrete barrier and triggering a massive explosion. It's a painstaking process, and while we may have these early theories, a full explanation could take even months. And
Listen, if there was a high-ranking politician on this flight, you notice she said months this thing could take. This thing wouldn't take 2 weeks. This is a fact. This thing wouldn't take 2 weeks. Right? They trying to put blame on the pilots that I see. But my question is, why is there a gigantic concrete wall at the end of this runway? It would have been better if there was water, that the plane could have just went in the water. Maybe it would have been way under 30 deaths. But there is a high probable chance of death, which I could very much assume. Hundreds of thousands of pounds of metal hitting a concrete wall at the end of a runway. What's on the other side of that concrete wall? I need you to ask more questions, okay? Like, ask more real questions. Ask more common sense questions. Ask more questions that they're not telling you about, right? What's on the other side of that wall? Did that really have to be there? I guarantee if there ain't nothing too important on the other side of that wall, that same wall will be destroyed, cleared out of the way in a very short time. You can mark my words on that. If the right conditions that I just stated happen. So, as you can see, they're trying to blame the pilots. Like, yo, the guys in the tower told them that it could have been a bird that went in this spot, so the landing could be difficult. And I don't know, man. We'll know the full story as days come, weeks come, and as you said, months ahead. When there's other distractions they gotta distract us with. Not saying that this is a distraction, but this is some real things that happen. But they trying to put celebrities and the bird flu in the mix. So this ain't gonna last too long in the news. I could assume.
This crash is particularly shocking because Jeju Air has had an excellent safety record in its nearly 20 years of operation, and many are asking how this could happen to a carrier trusted by millions.
And what more can you tell us about this jet? How old was the aircraft? What are the airline officials saying about it?
Right. The crash is now the deadliest aviation accident on South Korean soil, and it's one of the worst in Asia in recent years. Now, it recalls tragedies like 1997 Korean Air crash in Guam and the 2013 Asiana Airlines crash in San Francisco. But for Jeju Air, this is, as I said, an unprecedented tragedy. Their airline, known as South Korea's top budget carrier, has never faced a deadly accident before. And as you asked, Jeju Air CEO earlier today delivered a heartfelt public apology, bowing deeply in front of the press and grieving families. Now, the company's statement reflects the shock felt across South Korea, a nation that has prided itself on aviation safety, is now grappling with unimaginable loss.
Well, South Korea was going through political turmoil as well with a new interim president in place. How is the government responding to this disaster?
You're right. As you said, South Korea is in the middle of a political storm with martial law recently imposed and the acting president impeached. And despite this turmoil, the government has acted swiftly. So Deputy Prime Minister Choi Sang-mok, now serving as acting president, has declared Muan a disaster zone and a week-long national mourning.
So put how you feel about that in the comments. Let's go to something a lot less serious, okay? Let's go to something a lot less serious. I need Woe Vicky to explain this. So apparently, Woe Vicky, which I used to follow her until she started talking. Until she started talking last week, I seen her. I was like, damn, she fine. Like, let me see what's going on. You know what I'm saying? You see her face. She look real innocent. Blah, blah, blah. You know, white girls are not necessarily my preference, but she look nice. So I'm like, all right, you know, let me see what she about, man. Let me start following her. And then she started speaking, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I mean, you know, you can still get it, but so supposedly she said she got kidnapped by Nigerians, and they are demanding a $1 million ransom for her release. Well, let's see what she says, because now they saying this is a hoax.
I was just trying to show everybody that in America that it's not that serious, that Africa is a very safe country, and you will be safe no matter what race you are, you know.
Ma'am, you can't say that you are held up for ransom and in the same breath, maybe it's just the caption. Maybe I'm bugging. But you can't put a positive light or say that you putting a positive light on a country that is this and that, and then say yo, I'm held up for ransom here. They want $1 million. Yo, a lot of y'all be pretty but dumb. But I mean,
I was just trolling because everybody was like, why would she go to Nigeria? Is she crazy? Whatever. So I just wanted to have a quick joke, but the joke kind of got carried away and like, you know, stuff like that. But we love y'all. It's all good. This is my brother.
Nigeria is safe. So if you wanna come to Nigeria, it's safe. Don't be scared.
I love Nigeria. They did my braids for $50.
Nobody should lie for you that Nigeria is not safe. It's safe. So you could to come.
So this is just
they did my braids for $50. They did my braids for $50.
Nigeria is not safe.
for $50.
It's safe. Don't be scared.
I love Nigeria. They did my braids for $50. My braids for $50.
Nobody scared.
I love Nigeria. They did my braids for $50.
Safe. Don't be scared.
I love Nigeria. They did my braids for $50.
Nobody should lie for you that Nigeria is not safe. It's safe. So you could to come.
So this is just an example that Nigeria is so safe and we love Nigeria. I was
Oh my God, bro. Like, yo, Steve Jobs, man. Listen, I gotta give a round of applause for Steve Jobs because even though there's a lot of idiots using this, right? You know what? I don't think I could call her an idiot. Well, her messaging is stupid. But in this attention economy, she has gathered a lot of attention, right? And if she's selling something, then she can make some profit off this. If she's just trying to get famous, it all depends on perspective if she's actually a genius for doing this. Now, Nigeria has a bad stigma on them because she went and put this out there. You got this little bitty white girl that supposedly got kidnapped by a bunch of Nigerians, black people. And then you apologize because Rondo Ray is on the side in the corner of that room like, yo, we losing tourist money because your white ass is over here. No disrespect, but that's probably what they saying. You need to apologize. You just came over here for tourism. We know you. Why are you telling... Yo, all right, I'm gonna go do it. Well, however she talk. Yo, women, I know that these chicks, you idolize them because they got a lot of followers and a lot of dudes that just want to smash them is in their DMs. Listen, they just want to smash them. Once they hear them talk, they leave them alone. They get whatever they need to get from them, and then they go home. They don't answer their phone. They don't text back, or they text one-word answers. They take 7 hours to text back and be like, oh, damn, my bad. Yo, I didn't even see your text, shorty. Damn, wow. Like, that's crazy. Like, you like a whole vibe. Like, I ain't no way I just missed your text. They doing all that fugazi shit to them until they get horny again, and then they gonna call them. Women, be smart. Learn how to talk. Learn how to carry yourself. Don't just learn how to market and. Cause this, yeah, I understand you getting a lot of followers because you did some stupid shit, but what does that do for your reputation? In the 48 Laws of Power, it said, I don't know the exact wording of it, but it said you must protect your reputation at all costs. You gotta protect it. You gotta protect it. This is nasty work. Ugly. Ill. 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 Alright, so the last thing I'm going to talk about is Jimmy Carter. Jimmy Carter has unfortunately passed us today on December 29th, 2024. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I didn't know Jimmy Carter was still alive. Now, that sounds crazy, right? But there is a literal video of them talking about Jimmy Carter went and voted for Kamala Harris. He's sitting in a wheelchair. He's laying in some type of mechanism, and he's like this. Not moving. I'm like, yo, Jimmy Carter says he's excited to vote for Kamala. He don't look like he know how to talk. What? Let me see if there's a new story on Jimmy. But Jimmy Carter, man, you're one of the most famous presidents in history, but if you know his real track record, Jimmy Carter, he wasn't that good of a president, unfortunately. But he made his mark. He did what he had to do. He made his mark, and it is what it is, man. You know, it is what it is.
Session through planes. President Carter traveled the world also.
So all these videos are like tributes to Jimmy Carter. We're not gonna watch him, okay? There's a lot of tributes. They put out a lot of tributes this fast, and this just happened. 7 minutes, 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 34 minutes, 28 minutes. Okay. All right. I guess.
Just to bring you some breaking news, we're getting reports from US media via what they're describing as a statement that Jimmy Carter, the former US president, the 39th US president, and also Nobel Peace Prize recipient, has died at the age of 100. He turned 100 in October, on the 1st of October. And sadly, it was only in November that he lost his wife, Rosalind. 77 years they were married, the longest.
Now, they do say when couples marry, when one of them die, he was married to her for 77 years. Now, that's something you can applaud. That's great. That's awesome. Everybody knows this, right? Or you should, that when married couples, when they've been together for so long, and then one of them go, it's not that much longer that the other one passes. Congratulations to Jimmy Carter. You made it to 100 in October. I'm an October baby as well. A lot of us are great. A lot of us are history makers. All of us are history makers. All of us are special. All of us are what balances the earth, especially Libras. So, my hat's off to you, all right?
Marriage of a first couple. He served in the White House between 1977 and 1981. And as I said, he was the 39th President of the United States, starting his working career as a peanut farmer. He was a Democrat. His milestone 100th birthday was, as I said, in October. Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States, a Nobel Peace Prize winner, has died at the age of 100 in a hospice in his home state of Georgia. Gary O'Donoghue looks back on his life.
As a candidate and as a president, I'll never tell a lie.
That was the essence of Jimmy Carter.
So we're gonna end this here. Listen, politicians lie, okay? I understand listen, that was a great campaign you ran, all right? You got in, but listen, we all know politicians lie. It's over for that, all right? Rest in peace to Jimmy Carter. Condolences to his family. That's all for the news that we got today on Think Pieces in Conversation. What do you think about the Korean crash? What do you think about Vicky faking her kidnapping? What do you think about, what's the other thing? What we talked about? What's the other thing we talked about? Jimmy Carter, South Korea, Vicky. That's pretty much it, right? Bird flu. What do you think about this next pandemic that they're trying to give to us? What do you think about it? Put it in the comments at the bottom. Follow Think Pieces and Conversations on all podcast platforms. Follow 8 Left Earth on YouTube. This channel that you're watching this video on. We got more to come. Thank you. I'm out of here.